me text message. All right, okay. That's wonderful. How are you, ma'am? I'm perfectly fine, Aruj bete. Alishba, Kinza, everyone here. All right, okay. So yesterday, I don't know what was the problem I was encountering. The same one. आवाज नहीं आती जी. Again, the video got stuck. I think. All right, okay. So we were just discussing about chapter number 5 and 6. इसमें है types of different writings, or we have done with the headlines. All right, now we are going to get done with your news writing. The three techniques we have discussed about it. Now today we will do editorial writing. Okay. So a brief recap of your yesterday's session. What are the editorial pages? The editorial page of any newspaper is the voice of the editorial staff and the readers. You know that why the editorial pages they are meant for, because the editorials are written over there, and what the editorials are all but about. They're about for experience for expressing the opinions of whatever the management of the publication feels in relation to the present occasion. All right, whatever the scenario is just going on, and so it means that we have to act differently according to different occurring situations. So in editorials, the staff members and the editor of the newspaper they are at the freedom just to express their feelings. All right, according to the different political upheavals they are going on. So, what are the objectives of an editorial? To explain and interpret the news, to put it onto the proper perspective, to analyze it, and to draw conclusion from that analysis. Okay, so look at this sentence now. There is a lot of information going on. Okay, it is so objectives क्या है कि what is the purpose of writing editorials? Number one is to explain and interpret the news. पहली बात क्या है जी कि सबसे पहले आप ये बताएं you have to explain and interpret. Interpret mean there are two words, okay, which you might have which you might familiar with, which maybe you're from. Number one is perception, and number two is interpretation. Perception is when you see anything, you just started assuming, or you just build an idea in your mind. Okay, this is called perception. And interpretation is like if I'm just speaking over here and you are listening to me, whatever the information you are understanding, and then you are telling this information to somebody else, this is called interpretation. Okay, so it means that editorials are there to explain and interpret the news, कि वो बताएं न्यूज को आगे इंटरप्रेट करें, to put it in or to put it on in its proper perspective. ठीक है, और उसको प्रॉपर उसके पर्सपेक्टिव में एड अप करें. टू एनालाइज इट, एनालाइज मीन कि उसको अवेल्युएट करें कि व्हाट टाइप ऑफ न्यूज इट इज. ठीक है, जितने भी लोग यहाँ पर एक्सप्रेशंस अपने बता रहे हैं या जो भी उनका जो पर्सपेक्टिव है उसको एनालाइज करें, and to draw conclusion from that analysis. And after once you have making an analysis, you have to draw a conclusion. Conclusion mean what are the resultant factors over here. So it all comes from the editorials. Okay, another important objective is to persuade the readers. We have to convince the readers to follow a course of action. ठीक है, कि आप ये course of action को follow करें, that the newspaper believes it for the public good regardless of party interest involved. Okay, then functions of editorial writer. What are the functions of an editorial writer? Explaining the news, filling the backgrounds, forecasting the future, passing moral judgment. Okay, now what are the principles of editorial writing? The code of principles emphasizes the scientific method in arriving at and presenting the truth. So the code of principle क्या है यानी कि इसका बेसिक कोड क्या है. ठीक है, वो ये है that you have to present the truth, you have to reveal the truth. ठीक है, by giving the emphasis किस पे देना है, about the existing reality. Okay, so the editorial writer should present facts honestly and fully. So what he ought to do, he has to present, he or she has to present whatever the factors or the happenings they are going on after taking the stocks of the surrounding. They have to remain honest and truthful, okay, while presenting and just sharing or posting or publishing the facts with the people. Then editorial writer should draw objective conclusions from the stated facts, basing them upon the weight of evidences and upon his considering concepts of the greatest good. Okay. The editorial writer should never be motivated by personal interest, nor use his influence to seek special favors for himself or for others. These, I think, points they are self-explanatory. I don't think so that it demands a lot of elaboration, so that's why I didn't discuss these points. Because once you read it, you just understand it. Then the editorial writer should realize that he is not infallible. Okay, उसे infallible भी नहीं होना है. Come to the next point. The editorial writer should regularly review his own conclusions in the light of all obtainable information. The editorial writer should have the courage of well founded conviction and democratic philosophy of life. The editorial writer should support his colleagues in their adherence to the highest standards of professional integrity. Now comes an important part, that is types of editorials. Number one is informative, number two is interpretative, then editorials of crusades and reforms, then editorials on special occasions, editorials that are appreciable or commendable, editorials that offer entertainment like entertainment editorials, entertaining editorials, and editorials for paying the tributes to the dead ones, okay, or to the one who had made a biggest achievement, okay. Then comes your editorial liner, that is not the part of your syllabus. देन कम्स योर हाउ टू राइट. ओके, ये जितनी भी मैंने अभी आपके साथ टाइप्स डिस्कस की हैं, जो मैंने अभी आपको नाम पढ़ के बताए हैं, दैट इज ओनली वन लाइनर इन्फॉर्मेशन एज द नेम इटसेल्फ सजेस्ट कि व्हाट आर द एंटरटेनमेंट एडिटोरियल्स क्या हैं, जहाँ पर आप एंटरटेनमेंट की सेलिब्रिटी की जो भी इंटरेस्टिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन है वहाँ पर उसे आएगी, एंटरटेनमेंट से रिलेटेड है, यू आर गोइंग टू राइट एडिटोरियल्स अबाउट इट. जहाँ पर आपने ट्रिब्यूट की बात करनी है, सो यू आर पेइंग द ट्रिब्यूट टू द मार्टायर्स, ओके, or when there is some sort of a death anniversary and you are paying tribute to the death ones or to the dead one or to the legends, so you are going to write a editorial about it. Okay, so उसके साथ साथ आप एक एक दो एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं, right? Then comes your how to write editorials, understanding the process of writing the editorials. This is the important part. Number one is, the first step is pre-writing. ठीक है, first of all you have to plan what to write, मुझे लिखना क्या है. Okay, for that reason you have to choose a topic. Okay, like you can choose to tackle any of the issues, event faces appearing in the news, but try as much as possible to make the editorial acquire the following values. Okay, number one is it should be current and timely, substantive, offers insight, free of conflict of interest. Okay, प्री-राइटिंग में फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू टेक ऑल दीज रेपरकशंस. ओके, कि जो भी आप लिख रहे हैं it should be free from all these conflicts, it should be current और timely होना चाहिए, substantive होनी चाहिए, ठीक है, और it offers the insight mean कि it should be a thought provoking for the people. Okay, then comes your obtain background material and information. Number two, आगे process क्या है जी, then you have to obtain the background. First of all you have to work on the pre-writing. उसके बाद आप क्या करेंगे, second process is you have to obtain the background material and information. अब आप उसे गैदर इंफॉर्मेशन को गैदर करेंगे, उससे रेलिवेंट इंफॉर्मेशन को गैदर करेंगे, ठीक है. Third one is identify your purpose and your audience. Then you have to identify your purpose. आपका purpose क्या है और आपकी audience क्या है, ठीक है? Will it merely inform or do you want to interpret, criticize, suggest reforms, urge readers to action? Okay. So, what are different steps taken in identifying the purpose and audience? Number one is explain or interpret, criticize, praise, and persuade. Okay. Then comes your प्री राइटिंग में डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स. अब हम एक एक चीज को बताएंगे, ठीक है? प्री राइटिंग में क्या सबसे पहले उसने बताया था कि दे शुड बी सम सॉर्ट ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, इट शुड बी वेरी कैची, सब्सटेंशियल, ठीक है? देन कम्स योर वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव वन, और कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट उसमें ना हो, ऐसी कोई बात ना हो जिसके ऊपर लोग जो है उसके ऊपर कोई बहस मुबासा या उसके ऊपर कोई कंट्रोवर्शियल इशू स्टार्ट हो जाए, राइट? सो फर्स्ट, now we're going to elaborate this process. Number one was the pre-writing. Brainstorm idea. Brainstorm क्या कहते हैं? That you have to like मैंने आपको एक वर्ड पूछा और उसके ऊपर मैं डिफरेंट आपसे आइडियाज क्रैक करना शुरू कर. What I'm trying to do with you, I'm just brainstorming you. Okay, it means that you have to find the different ideas by reading the journals, magazines, or the daily uh, differently occurring situations, ठीक है? From the political upheavals they are going on, so you can gather the information from the everyday outgoing activities. Then comes, once you have brainstormed the idea, once you have just choose your topic, what you have to do now, you have to organize your information. Okay, you have to outline the facts and figures, that how logically you are provided with the information, and what information you just still need to dig out. Okay, like these are the areas in which you have to work upon more. Okay, like you have to choose the details and ordering the details. Then drafting, okay? Writing the first draft. Editorials usually have three parts. Number one is the beginning, the body, and the conclusion. Okay. Then how do I begin? The most important question is कि मैं इसको कैसे लिखना कैसे शुरू करूँ? The beginning. The editorial lead. The editorial lead, like in the news story, is the showcase of the write-up. However, it is not considered the heart of the story, unlike in the news. The heart could be in the middle or at the end, depending upon the whims and style of the editorial writer. Remember that it must contain enough spark to urge the readers to read the whole article. A flat, dull, and dragging lead will readily turn reader away. It does not have to follow the traditional 5 Ws and 1 H. The editorial writer has more freedom to display his creativity than the news writer in the writing of the lead. The opening statement must be brief. It may consist only of the news on which the editorial is based, or the topic or problem to be taken up. It may be emphatic statement or maxim. ठीक है? Emphatic statement or maxim. Okay. A striking statement about the topic. Now the question will arise: what are emphatic statements? Emphatic statement means where you are just trying to get emphasis. Emphasis is derived from the word, I mean to say, the way you just wanted to give stress out, जहाँ पर किसी बात के ऊपर जोर देना चाहे, ठीक है? And maxim here means you just wanted to gain the maximum attention from the people. So you have to write such editorials in which you are going to make it, in which you make in which you make your readers hooked up or make them engaged. Okay. सो अ स्ट्राइकिंग स्टेटमेंट अबाउट द टॉपिक. आप ऐसा क्या लिखेंगे कि ऐसा स्ट्राइकिंग स्टेटमेंट हो, ठीक है? लाइक पैट्रियट कोई हो, ऑरेटर है, लॉयर है, मार्टायर है, दैट वाज जॉस, या उसने आगे एग्जांपल्स दे दिए. सो अ कोटेशन, द टाइम इज गोल्ड, सो द सेइंग गोज ऑन. देन ओपनिंग स्टेटमेंट्स. अब आप कहाँ से ओपनिंग स्टेटमेंट्स लेंगे? नरेशन से, ठीक है? देन कम्स एन ऑर्डर एंड देन लास्ट कम्स अ क्वेश्चन. An opening statement could be in a poetic style, prophecy style, and in the reaction. They could all be always. They could also be the mixture of the facts and opinion. A news patch, okay, and the news patch. Again, my laptop is getting stuck. Anyways, the second comes your body. The body should include the editorial's basic fact, the causes and effects behind incidents, situations, illustrations, and arguments. So, drafting, writing the body. When writing the body, remember to keep an eye on the list of the points you intend to discuss. Write without worrying whether the wording of the each sentence is perfect, and leave the plenty of room for rewriting. The conclusion. The last part drives home the final important thought or direction. This conclusion may be in the form of advice, challenge, command, or just a rounding out for a simple summary. The last part is going to be your conclusion. Drafting or writing the conclusion. If the editorial must have an impelling and lead paragraph, it follows that it must also have a good ending, one that could literally clinch the ball game. The ball game here means the one who can directly catch up your attention. ठीक है? इसे क्या कहते हैं? Clinching the ball game. The writer must remember that the most emphatic positions are at the beginning, at the end. You know that. सबसे पहले आपका कहाँ पर ज्यादा attention seeker कहाँ होता है? Even though when the examiner is reading your paper, either is the beginning and the end. So you have to make your editorials in such a, you have to design in such a beautiful way that your opening lines and the ending, they should be very much attractive and very much emphatic. Here are some typical last paragraphs, proverbs and quotations. You can start with it. Like इसने आगे एग्जांपल्स दी हुई हैं. देन द लास्ट पैराग्राफ में एडवाइस कर सकते हैं, कंपैरिजन है, कॉन्ट्रास्ट है. So what strategies we can do? We can end up using a proverb, quotations, advice, comparison, contrast, crusadings है, and argumentative style, formal and the standard form, and last one is the conclusion. Now, after writing the draft, revise your work. What you have to do? You have to revise your work and add actions and clarity of writing. Reread your draft carefully. Focus sentences through parallelism and translation. Rethink, reevaluate, and rewrite. Use transitions, move sentences, add words and phrases. Then, after writing the draft, proofreading and editing. Concentrate on surface features of your writing. Check for clarity. Check for errors in grammar, punctuation, mechanics, and spelling. The last one goes with your publishing. Prepare copy for print, broadcast, or electronic media. Follow style sheet. Choose a way to present your work. Print, broadcast, electronic media. Now, tips for the writers. A simple style. Avoid high fallatin words. High fallatin words के high five vocabulary words मत इस्तेमाल करें. Learn to develop a simple, clear, direct, and vigorous style of writing. Choose your words that will accurately describe or explain a point or issue. Then sound reasoning. Support arguments with the right facts. Logical thinking show the writer's competence. Uncluttered ideas and unsubstantiated arguments, ठीक है, to read, so shoo the readers away, ठीक है, yeah, it will keep the reader away. Brief, exact, and concise. 150 to 200 words. This is the word limitation for writing an editorial. Then complex sentences and the long paragraphs are verism and dull the sense. ठीक है, I told you that you have to write the complex compound sentences, but if repeatedly you are just adding up the complex compound sentences and using up all the punctuation marks unnecessarily, okay, so it will also create a very worrisome, wearisome effect over there, very monotonous effect over there. See to it and that every word used counts and serve its purpose. Then one editorial, 1 point rule. ठीक है, focus on a theme. Always have 1 point to convey to the reader. Several points confuse the readers. Be specific. Use concrete facts and figures, not general ideas, terms, or statement. Hazy and broad generalization do not impress. So in the end, we will go with a checklist. Evaluating your work. Okay, when you have finished writing your editorial, check it with the following list of questions. Number one is, if you can answer yes to all of them, you may be sure that you have an effective editorial. Your no answer, your no answer will suggest points that needs improvement. Okay. So questions kya hain ji? Are the form and style appropriate for the content and the purpose? It means that whatever the form and the style you have adopted over here, is it in complete synchronization? Number two, does it have a purpose and accomplish that purpose? Number three, does it make the reader think? Does it reflect the writer's originality and ingenuity? Is the writing clear, vigorous, direct, and simple? Is the diction exact, not ambiguous? Diction कहते हैं dictionary words, ठीक है? Whatever the vocabulary words have been used over here, are they correct? They are easy being applied, okay? Are they being written in the contextual form? Are they going to be fitted with the position? So not ambiguous. Ambiguous mean कि जो unclear हो, ठीक है? जिसका meaning जो है वो unclear तो नहीं है, ambiguity तो नहीं है, लोगों को डाल देता. So, does the editorial reflects clear, logical thinking? Does it give evidence of accurate knowledge? Does it sound sincere? Does the opening sentence employ the principle used in any good sales letter? So, questions. Are the paragraphs comparatively short? Is the editorial brief and pointed? Is the subject matter of significance to students? Does it have a real or an artificial news spec? Does the editorial make its point without preaching? So, if a newspaper were a living thing, as I think it is, okay, its news content may be the live food. The front page may be its face, but its editorials, its criticism and commentary are its very soul. समझ आई? We said that अगर तो newspaper एक living thing होता तो news is going to be the face and editorials are going to be its soul. Okay? And when the editorials are flabby, complacent, or irresponsible, then the newspaper has lost its soul and also its character. I hope it will be clear to you. Okay, look at the last sentence. And when the editorials are flabby, complacent, or irresponsible. Okay, complacent means, do you understand? Do you know what is the meaning of complacent? It means smudge. Smudge means we does not give a clear meaning. Okay. And flabby means unfirm. Okay, something which is not being very solidified. Okay, so it says that when the editorials are flabby, they are not written in a very strong way. They are compliments, they are having a smudging means they were unclear or irresponsible, then the newspaper has lost its soul and also its character. So that was all about your editorial writing. Now we are going to move towards your another slides. Okay, towards, sorry, not the slides, another topic that is about your interview writing. Now let me check your uh, जी आपको वो चेक करने दें जरा योर सिलेबस चैप्टर 5th और 6 में क्या क्या है. ठीक है, फिर मैं आपको आगे नया टॉपिक कराती हूँ. कोई प्रॉब्लम है इसमें तो पूछ सकते हैं. So that was chapter number 6 and 7, journalistic writing. ये दो कट्ठे chapters हैं जिसमें the first question is how journalistic writing evolved and different forms of journalistic writing. So the first topic was news writing, we have done yesterday. Then comes editorial writing, मैंने अभी करवा दिया आपको. Then the other few topics we have to discuss about is feature writing, column and review and interview. 4 हैं अभी आपके. Then your chapter 6 and 7 will be covered. Feature writing, column, review. So now we will discuss about feature, column, interview and review. उम्मे कुलसूम, व्हाट यू आर आस्किंग बेटे? लास्ट डेट क्या है? लास्ट डेट ऑफ व्हाट? Okay, we are going to discuss the new topic that is about your feature writing. Beta, I was not speaking. I was just looking for the slides of your feature writing. So I guess I'm audible to everyone now. Okay. We are discussing about the topic of the feature writing, and this is chapter number 6 and 7. Unit number 6 and 7. Okay. Now that is feature writing. What are the basics of writing a feature? Okay. So far we have discussed about your news writing techniques, and then we have discussed about editorial writings. Now the third topic is about the feature writing. This is a very important chapter. Please do क्या कहते हैं, प्रिपेयर योर सेल्फ फॉर द फीचर राइटिंग का क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, कॉलम आएगा, एडिटोरियल लाजमी आएगा. सो ये जितनी भी ट्रेड्स हैं, प्लीज डोंट मिस दिस चैप्टर, चैप्टर 6 and 7. ये एक क्वेश्चन जरूर प्रिपेयर कीजिएगा, ये जरूर पेपर में आएगा आपको, राइट. और वो जो आपके कम्युनिकेशन में लैंग्वेज का जो मैंने फर्स्ट चैप्टर, सॉरी जो फर्स्ट डे मैंने आपका सेशन लिया था कि व्हाट आर द ट्रेड्स फॉर द लैंग्वेज, लिंग्विस्टिक कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स है और नॉन लिंग्विस्टिक कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स में डिफरेंस था, दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, so please do prepare yourself for this. ये 10 questions होते हैं, ये आपने please prepare करने. You know that very well, the questions which are the part of your assignments. Do prepare yourself for it. Okay, then comes your feature writing basics. What are the basics for feature writing? Okay, first of all, you just need to understand the difference between hard news and the soft news. What are the hard news? Hard news is interesting to the human beings, and the soft news interesting because it deals with the life of the human beings. Okay, so then hard news concerns important matters and the soft news concerns interesting matters. सो स्ट्रक्चर स्टोरी एंड द हार्ड न्यूज स्टोरी एंड द सॉफ्ट न्यूज स्टोरी, दोनों को हमने लिखना कैसे है. व्हेन यू आर स्ट्रक्चरिंग अ स्टोरी, आपने स्टोरी लिखनी है, मैंने आपको बताया स्टोरी लिखनी है, न्यूज आपने बनानी है. तो दे आर टू टाइप ऑफ द न्यूज, हार्ड न्यूज एंड द सॉफ्ट न्यूज. मैंने पहले भी एक्सप्लेन किया था. द मोस्ट, सो इसका ऑर्डर क्या है, इट विल फॉलो द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टू द लीस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, बट इन द सॉफ्ट न्यूज वी हैव टू फॉलो द our conventional method. That is, we will go with the lead, then goes with the body, and last one is going to be your conclusion. Okay. So in the soft news there should be a lead. Obviously lead कभी भी हो तो सबसे पहले कोई भी न्यूज हो, सॉफ्ट है या हार्ड न्यूज है, यू हैव टू गो विद द लीड. ओके. सो लेटर वी विल हैव टू गो विद द in the hard news we will go with the the proper sequence, from descending to ascending order, most important, then less important, and then is going to be the least important. But in the soft news, here the details are going to be in the chronological order, logical order, and is going to be in the narrative order as well. जैसे जैसे कहानी हुई, ठीक है, जैसे जैसे सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स हुए, वैसे आप लिखते हैं. ठीक है, यहाँ मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट से लीस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं आता. हेयर यू विल आर गोइंग टू फॉलो कि जैसे जैसे सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स हुए. ठीक है, so you have to follow that in that particular style. This is the basic difference between the hard news and the soft news. Then what is the feature writing? Do please learn this definition of the feature writing. Think of the feature story as a new story written like a piece of a short fiction. ओके. लाइक कहते हैं ऐसे लिखती जैसे कहानियां लिखी जाती, उसी स्टाइल में स्टोरी भी लिखा जाती है. ठीक है. फीचर राइटिंग, यू मस्ट कंबाइन द रिगर्स ऑफ फैक्चुअल रिपोर्टिंग विद द क्रिएटिव फ्रीडम ऑफ शॉर्ट स्टोरी राइटिंग. उसने कहा यहाँ पर क्या है, जो आपके पास फैक्ट जो होते हैं वो आप एक जो है ना, आपके पास क्रिएटिविटी का एक फ्रीडम दिया जाता है कि आप उसके अंदर एड अप करके, एक क्रिएटिविटी उसमें एड अप करके, ठीक है, अपने से जो है अपनी वो क्या नाम है, ओपिनियन जो है वो उसमें एड अप करके, ठीक है, you can make those your story very interesting and you can publish it. Okay. Then feature writing, readers would have to read the whole story to understand it. So but in the lead it doesn't go like this. आपने एक अखबार की सुर्खी पढ़ती हैं, उससे आपको समझ आ जाती है कि what it is all about. But when you writing a feature, उसमें कोई इतनी पता नहीं है, आप पूरा उसको अखबार को क्योंकि सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स के साथ पता चलता है, तो जैसे जैसे द मोर यू आर जस्ट रीडिंग इट, ठीक है, सो जो उसके फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स हैं, दे जस्ट स्टार्ट रिवीलिंग ऑन टू योर सेल्फ, because it is following a narrative order style or chronological order style. So the feature writing, readers would have to read the whole story to understand it. Okay. Feature writing, okay, functions to humanize and color, educate, entertain, and illuminate. Feature writing, written to hook the reader and draw him or her into the story, may or may not be tied to a current event, often longer than a traditional news story, may present an opinionated view. Feature writing functions to humanize, to add color, to educate, to entertain, to illuminate, written to hook the reader and draw him or her into the story, may or may not be tied to a current event, often longer than a traditional news story, and may present an opinionated view. इसमें आपके पास freedom of expression है. You are going to have a liberty just to express your opinions. Now, feature story क्या है? Also called the feature articles or simply features, a piece of journalistic writing that covers a selected in-depth issue, emphasis on facts of human interest. Its job is to find a fresh angle, make the readers think and care. Now, what are the different types of the features? Number one is personality profiles, human interest stories, trend stories, and analysis stories. Types of features, interview articles है, practical guidance है, seasonal और holiday features, entertainment article, travel log है, personality sketch है, and interpretative features. Choosing the theme. Has the story been done before? Is the story of interest to the reader? Does the story have a holding power? What makes the story worthy to be reported? The theme answer the questions. So what? Understand? ये बहुत सिंपल इंग्लिश में लिखा हुआ. आई डोंट थिंक सो दैट it demands a lot of elaboration. All you just need to understand these facts and figures and you have to write down in your paper. Then substance of the features. Facts होने चाहिए, quotes, description, anecdotes, opinions, analysis, payoff and conclusions. Now sample feature topics. For an exchange student, you can कहाँ से आपके पास फीचर का टॉपिक कहाँ से आ सकता है? Unusual hobbies हैं, dirtiest job, some people they are doing it, fashion trends हैं, favorite movies, favorite celebrities, teacher features, okay, then tattoos and bizarre foods. So feature story structure, beginning, beginning, middle and end. Everybody is gives all these traits of writing, all the traits of journalistic writing, they have the same, they're following the same order. ठीक है? Lead, body, and conclusion. Now, beginning, which is also called the lead. It starts with the premise or a theme. Middle, it goes with the body or short story development. Present information and opinions that back up your point, and end goes with the conclusion. Bring the reader to a close. Feature writing, the lead, the most important part. The first paragraph, but may include the second or even the third paragraph, entices your readers, hooks them in, or use the dramas, emotions, quotations, questions, and or descriptions, and it also sets the tone. Feature writing or the lead. Attention getting devices. Ask a question or questions, make an unusual statement, describe a scene, present a conversation, tell a brief story, present surprising or alarming statistics, refer to an event, either historical or current. Feature writing and the lead, that is a continuation of the same. Attention getting devices. Show a controversy or contradiction, use a quotation, okay, adage or a proverb, state an unusual opinion, riddle, dialogue, and onomatopoeia. That is a literary device, poetic device है. Lead samples क्या हैं? I'm not going to read the samples here. Now the types of lead to avoid. ठीक है, हमने क्या लिखना है? Write dictionary lead and dumb declarative leads, okay, and mystery it lead. ठीक है, यानी कि जो it है इनसे जो start होते हैं वो आपने avoid करने हैं. The types of leads to avoid. ठीक है, weird linkage और typical lead, जिनके साथ बड़ा weird एक है वो link create हो, you just need not to produce such leads. Types of lead to avoid. The uninformative questions lead, okay, यानी कि जो फजूल सी बातें हैं जो जिसमें कोई आगे एक्सप्लोर करने के ऊपर भी कोई इन्फॉर्मेटिव क्वेश्चंस आपको नहीं मिल रही हैं, तो यू आर नॉट सपोज टू डिग योरसेल्फ इनटू सच टॉपिक्स. देन कंपेयर एंड कॉन्ट्रास्ट जहां पर आ जाए, ठीक है, वहां भी आप ले सकते हैं. सो फीचर राइटिंग द बॉडी, द गट्स ऑफ द स्टोरी, ठीक है, इट मीन दैट इज द गट ऑफ द स्टोरी, longest part, so you need to vary the place and keep it fresh by using, कहता है आपने इसके अंदर वैरायटी लेकर आनी है, and how you can make it more refreshing by quotes and anecdotes, ठीक है, description and details and specific examples. Feature writing the body, important components, ठीक है, include background information, the thread of the story, dialogue and the voice. Feature writing conclusion. While the lead draws the reader, in the conclusion, they should be written to help the reader remember the story. Okay, we'll wrap up the story and come back to the lead, often with a quotation or surprising climax. Unlike hard news stories, feature needs ending. So the feature writing conclusion, the end can be a comment, a concluding quote, a question, a summary of the article. So steps to develop a feature story. Number one, again, like we have discussed it in your editorial writing, there should be pre-writing, okay? And then you have to draft it, and then you're going with the conclusion. Pre-writing, writing, revising, and proofreading. So these are the four steps for it. Number one is the pre-writing. Number two is writing. Okay, first of all, you have to do working on your pre-writing. You have to gather all the information. You have to select the topic. Okay, then you have to write down. What are the three traits of writing? Number one is the lead. Number two is body, and number third is conclusion. Okay, and then you have to revisit. You have to review your work. You have to rewrite it. You have to re-edit it sometime. Okay, and the last one is you have to proofread it. Now, steps in pre-writing. Okay, number one is finding the story. Number two is gathering the information. Number three is determining the type of feature and choosing the single focus. Okay, checking for good writing techniques and checking. Okay, sorry, skip over slide. Okay, number two is your writing. Okay, pre-writing हो गया, then comes your writing. Determining the organization, किसको आप रेफर कर रहे हैं, किस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का आप यहाँ पर कोट कर रहे हैं. Then drafting the lead, आप lead बनाते हैं. Drafting the body, drafting the conclusion, and preparing the headline. Then revising, okay, checking for good writing techniques, कि मैंने proper तरीके से writing techniques apply की भी कि नहीं. Number one is, does the article reflects careful, complete research? Do I attract my reader's attention in the opening paragraph? Does the article maintain interest throughout? Do I follow a logical organization to achieve my purpose? Have I maintained unity? Have I varied sentence structure in keeping with the tone and purpose? Are transitions sufficient to guarantee smooth reading? Does the word choice show freshness and originality? Have I eliminated wording errors? Have I used good story writing techniques? And in the last one, the last thing is the proofreading. Step 11. Okay, checking the details. Be sure to check your copy carefully for correctness. And that is all we have discussed about your feature writing. Okay. Who is saying no voice? Yes, boys and girls. We have done the feature writing. Is it clear? Editorials we have done, news writing techniques we have done, and we have done the feature writing also. Now tell me any problem so that we can discuss it. Now tell me, I'm just going to have a 5 minutes conversation session with you. Tell me what is the difference between the news writing, editorial writing, and the feature writing. And then we will discuss about your review writing and interview writing, and we were done with the seventh chapter. Okay, write down the definitions over here. Okay? Tell me the definition of editorial writing. Yes, I have taught you the three topics over here today, and they were very much elaborative one. They were almost 50 plus slides. So tell me, what are editorials? बताएं जी जल्दी से. What are editorials?